Thank you everyone for joining us on our first webinar for 2025. We are so excited, I'm so excited to have this amazing mom, Hee-Jung Kim, join us today, and she's going to talk about her experience receiving ABA-based therapy for her son, who I believe is 5 years old. And specifically, she is going to talk about her experience. I believe the methodology that her team is utilizing is pivotal response treatment, which is a part of the NDBI approach. And so I'm super excited to kind of pick her brain as well as ask her some hard questions. And, she's going to be very candid and share with us her journey for the past few years. Um, so let's get started. So, Hee-Jung, thank you. Do you want to maybe start by sharing with everyone who you are and how many kids you have and all of that good stuff? I know you love talking about your kids, so.
Hi everyone. My name is Hee-Jung Kim. I have two kids. I have a daughter. Her name is Audrey. And I also have the youngest one, Aiden Park. He's the one that's on the autism spectrum disorder. They're 12 months and 2 weeks apart. So I've had them like totally back to back. So, challenging, but definitely fun. Just to get, they're very similar in age, so it's really fun watching them grow. Just having, they actually play together really well. So, it's challenging, but it's fun.
And so you said Aiden has autism. And so what were some initial, I mean, so because he's your second, I'm sure you kind of went through like the child development and stuff. You saw Audrey's progress. And so what were some initial red flags that made you kind of be a little bit more, concerned, as well as then consider assessment for Aiden?
So Aiden, I've noticed, had major speech delay. So he was nonverbal. Even when he turned 2, I've noticed the only thing he was probably able to say was "엄마" in Korean. So which is mom. That was probably the only thing he was able to say at that time. I've noticed he wouldn't talk, and I've also noticed him doing a lot of dangerous climbing, jumping, getting hurt constantly, and not learning from that mistake. And he's just doing it, repetitively and just continuing to get hurt. So that was very concerning. Texture wise, I've noticed he hated things on his hand. He hated bubble bath. He hated slime, paint. So I've noticed that was a little odd too. So I decided to get him assessed.
Great. And so when you got him, so you got him assessed, and then when you first received his diagnosis of autism, kind of what were your thoughts and feelings? Like what was going through your mind?
So in the beginning, when I got him assessed at 2, I got him assessed first at 2 years old by the regional center. And at that time, the regional center, they don't diagnose the child with autism until I guess they're 3. So when we first got him assessed, he pretty much only got speech therapy and occupational therapy, where they taught him like sign languages and whatnot with speech. And occupational, they put on like weighted vests, trying to help his not getting hurt, I guess, his safety awareness. And at 2 years and 6 months is when he actually got his psychological assessment done. And that's when I found out that he was level, they diagnosed him with level 3 autism spectrum disorder at that time with developmental disability. And I had no idea at that time what autism was. I did not study anything about autism. So when they first told me about that, I was super scared. I had no idea what to do, where to start. Um, I was just so lost, and I just didn't know where to go and what to do. So I just remember I just broke down, not knowing what to do at that time. I was really terrified. I had no idea.
I know Hee-Jung mentioned level 3, so if for people that don't know, I believe with the diagnostic criteria, there's like, I guess, three levels, level one, level two, and level three. And depending on the assessment results, children will be classified into one of the three. And I've seen this consistently with regional assessments. And so that must have been a really scary time for you. And I mean, it's really like 2 years, like 2.5 years ago that you were experiencing this, just getting this diagnosis. I mean, did the regional center try to help? Like, were they like, good luck, here's some.
So yeah, so pretty much after you turn 3 years old, you're not, they pretty much move all your files over to LAUSD. They want you to get an IEP done by the LAUSD and get that early childhood services. I think that's what they call it. But so they're pretty much, telling me like now they can't offer any, because he did get the speech and occupational, but now they're saying, they're not going to do it anymore. And now everything has to be done by the school. So I have to reach out to LASD to get an IEP done. And I have to figure out like, they recommended, of course, like the ABA, they recommended speech, occupational therapist, but they said I need to do everything through LAUSD now. So pretty much, which meant I have to get assessed again. I have to get them assessed again, and we have to do the whole thing all over again, pretty much. Um,
That sounds frustrating.
I was scared, and yeah, that was very scary. I mean, at that time, I was lost. My daughter, who doesn't have autism, she grew up perfectly well, with no issues verbally, with her verbals, like with her speech therapy, like she had no issue with anything. So, I this was my first time dealing with, speech delay, like all these safety stuff. So I was nervous. I was frustrated that I had to do all this all over again. I just felt like they weren't really trying. In the beginning, I asked the regional center, is there any way you guys can continue on the support? And they were not willing to help me out at all, and they're pretty much telling me no, their hands are tied. I just have to go through LAUSD, do the assessment all over again. So yeah, at that time that was very frustrating.
And did you get any support from his pediatrician?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. What was that?
Like extra help or guidance from his pediatrician?
No, no, to be honest, my pediatrician, no. I
Wow, so you're really left in the dark. And I think it's just so I think for me, for being in academia, what was the fact that you're like sharing this with us and like this is well documented in research, in the literature, where a lot of times families feel like they're kind of, left to their own device to figure it out. You get the diagnosis, they say good luck.
yeah. Yeah, the pediatrician, all they said was call your insurance and see what kind of assistance you can get. I mean, that's the only advice they can give you. So I mean, I'm pretty sure all parents are dealing with what I dealt with, and I mean, what can they do, right? Because they're first timers. I'm assuming just like me, they're lost. They don't know what to do. They just have to listen to what the pediatrician is saying, what the regional center is saying, right? Like they don't know anything else, right?
And so how did you find, I know you shared with me when we talked earlier that you have an amazing ABA team. So how did you find your ABA team? Because it seems like you had no help from the regional center, you had no help from your pediatrician's office. So how did you find this great team?
So this is such a funny story. I'm actually in like this Facebook mom group, in LAOC mom group, and these mom has literally the answer for everything. So, I'm scrolling down Facebook and I'm just seeing all these questions that, people are asking, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, why don't I do that? I'm pretty sure someone can help me here. And at that time, so Aiden was pretty much going to a daycare where the teacher was only fluent in Korean, so he had no knowledge of any English. My mom, his grandma actually raised him when he was a baby, so I guess he was only able to understand Korean more than English. So I was very desperate to find ABA which was so what the psychologist, well, I mean, what the psychologist recommended when he got that assessment was ABA, speech and occupational, right? So I was pretty much looking for like a Korean speaking, ABA therapist, even occupational therapist, speech therapist. I just threw it out there because I didn't know what else to do. I called my insurance company, asking for help. All they do is they're emailing me a list, but it's really nothing that can really help me at this point. So, I spoke with the insurance, nothing really helped. So that was pretty much my last resort. And, luckily I found, there were a couple of BCBAs, couple of, like, couple of speech therapists reaching out to me, wanting to work. And I actually found such a great BCBA there who came to my house, who evaluated Aiden, who assessed Aiden. And I've been with this team for 2 years now, and I haven't moved at all because I love this team and the support that they give Aiden, and also the support that they give me. I definitely feel it worked out.
So it sounds like you reached out to a mommy support group. And is the support group for kids with autism, or is it just like a general support group?
No, it's just a general like LAOC mom group. They just ask random questions like, "Oh, we're having a birthday party. Any recommendations for this? Oh, any recommendations for like balloons?" Just random like questions that moms ask, right? Like, "Oh, any good diaper brand, whatever," right? Just Korean mom group that just, it's like a mom support group that has like answers to everything, I feel like. And all these mom, they pretty much like they know everything. So I got really lucky. I really got lucky.
A big complaint in our field of applied behavior analysis is that there's such high turnover. Is that something that you've experienced with your therapists?
None whatsoever. I've been with my team for 2 years, and I have never had like a change in therapist. I feel like I've been working with the same ABA therapist from the beginning till the end.
Wow,
If anything, if anything, because his hours got extended, we've added on more therapists, but the same therapist that's worked with me from the beginning, it's still around. She's still here. She's still working with Aiden, which is what I love. The fact that Aiden knows who to expect. Aiden already, has this relationship with the therapist. And I think that helps so much. He loves everybody there, right? Because he's worked with them for so long. I mean, because they've worked with him for so long. So, I think that's very important.
do you think he likes receiving ABA therapy? Is he able to express that he likes it? I know he's 5, so, is he able to express? Is he able to show you he doesn't like it? Like, how do you know, as a mom, I guess, how would you know that he likes it versus he doesn't like it?
So if I knew he wouldn't like it, I would definitely expect a tantrum. I would definitely expect him screaming and crying. And now that he's more verbal, he would definitely let me know. But I know I'm 100% sure he loves therapy because when he sees them, he goes running. When he sees all the therapists, he actually goes running, hugging them. Um, when they're with him, he just randomly says, "I need a hug," and just starts hugging them. He enjoys, you can totally tell, like, that he enjoys the time that he's spending with them. Over the weekend, he wants me to call the therapist. I feel like they've developed such a great relationship. So I feel like he sees them as his mentor, but he sees them as a teacher, of course, but he also considers them like his friends. I feel like he's, there's somebody that he can go to, and I think he knows that in his heart. Like he knows that.
That's fantastic, that he feels that he can go to them. We have a question. Someone asked that it's fantastic you consistently had the same interventionist for 2 years. How big is this team? How many BCBAs and interventionists?
So there's one BCBA, and there's a total of four, no, three.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a total of three or four. Yeah, three.
So it's a two
Um,
BCBA and 3 therapists.
yes.
That's great. Well, I'm so glad he likes it. Can you kind of walk us through what the therapy session looks like? Because there's a lot of different types of ABA-based therapy. So like if Aiden loves it so much, I think, people would like be curious to know like what is it, like what are they doing that makes him like it?
I I honestly feel because it's very play based. Okay, so so okay, so for example, this I'm kind of like a wild crazy mom, I guess you can say, but in the beginning when I reached out to the Facebook mom group, right? And I there was like other people reaching out to me, and they talked about like, oh, about like I guess they have PTSD from their ABA therapy and whatnot, and they were telling me that ABA was not the way to go, and they were just showing me all these random articles. So I was terrified in the beginning, and because I didn't know what to expect. Again, first time autism mom, don't even know what this ABA therapy is, right? At this time. So I reached out to my BCBA, and I'm just so blunt about it. And I'm just letting her know this happened, like what kind of therapy are we gonna do? And she assured me like, you know what? We're very play based. That's not, all those things that they're talking about is not gonna happen. We're very play based. We're gonna go on your son's pace, and we're having home sessions. You're gonna be there. You don't have to worry. Let's just see how it works out. Let's see how it is, right? And so we had our home session. I'm absolutely in love with it because my I can see my son is having such a great time with the therapist, and they're not necessarily forcing anything from him, but they're going at his own pace. And if he's playing with a certain toy, they're not saying, no, it's not time for that right now, Aiden. We're gonna do this. No. So if he's playing with a certain toy, then they're using that to actually help him talk. Like they're like, oh look, this is a horse. What can the horse do this? And they're just like making conversations with him based on what he wants to play. And they're helping him out with his behavior, with what he likes. So I love that. And one thing I love about my therapist is my son's therapist is just the fact that they include all of us. And I love that. Like even his sister. So, his sister Audrey would join, and the therapist would teach Aiden how to share, how to talk to his sister, like how to teach them taking turns and whatnot. And I felt that was really good for Aiden. And I felt that was like maybe I think you can say like Audrey was like his first friend, because that's pretty much what he learned. He learned how to share, he learned how to, take turns with Audrey, how to be gentle. Because before he would not do any of that. But having that sister and our ABA team actually working with his sister also, that definitely helped. I'm able to watch them. I'm able to join. When we have community sessions, I'm there, and I learn so much because I'm there. I learn how they talk to him. I learn what they do. And seeing the things that they do, I can use on him when they're not around. And that's definitely helped also because this like consistent this consistent training, I feel like helped Aiden a lot. When I see the ABA therapist doing it, then I'll do the same. Then I love that we work as a team, and we always have these goals. We set goals for Aiden, and we always figured this goal out together. Okay, now that Aiden's doing this, let's work on this. So at home, let's try this. And and those goals that we set up because we're working as a team together, I feel he accomplishes it like super fast. And I feel, that's why I think it actually works
Also,
because we're doing it all together. So I do feel like that helps so much.
so it sounds like there's a lot of collaboration. It's a very team approach, a lot of communication, and that it seems like you also are very involved when we're developing the goals for Aiden.
Yes. So right now he's in a private school, um, in an all-inclusive private school, and his ABA team is there 40 hours a week, so it's eight hours a day. And we have our chat we have our group chat, the BCBA, ABA, like all of us. We have a big group and we're just like chatting, right? And I love how I get all these updates about him at school, what happened, what he's doing, how he's like playing, whenever he has a tantrum. So all of us are aware of, what he's doing and how he's doing. Even during the weekend, if something happens, if there's something sweet I want to share that Aiden did, I'm still texting on the weekends and I'm letting them know, oh my gosh, over the weekend, look at this happened, this happened. And we just love sharing. We're actually, that's why I feel like we actually collaborate and we're working as a team. And I think that really helps.
Awesome. That's great. It sounds like you have a dream team, like a dream situation for
I'm
Aiden.
so thankful. Yes.
Now I know you mentioned that he attends a private preschool, and
Mm-hmm.
you also kind of alluded to LAUSD offering services. And so I guess, like what made you decide to go with a private preschool instead of like going with LAUSD? Because when he first got diagnosed, it seems like the route regional center was trying to lean you towards was the LAUSD route. So what made you say, I don't want to do that, I want to do this other option?
So I when I noticed so what I've noticed is if I put him in an autism class, because with LAUSD, what they want to do with Aiden is they just want to put him in an autism class with autistic kids. And I don't want Aiden thinking that the behavior that he sees and or the behavior that he's like some of these behaviors that we need to work on is normal, right? And there's behaviors that we also need to work on. So I feel like if he's in an autism class, he's gonna learn all these other behaviors that I don't want him to learn. Opposed to if he's in a regular setting, all inclusive school in a class, then obviously he's gonna learn from other kids, the what's right, what to do, which he has, by the way. But right now, he that private preschool, like as I mentioned, he has that one-on-one support. He's made so much friends. His behavior has gotten so much better, so I'm proud of that. But yeah, I do feel like if he was in an LAUSD school, I don't feel his progress would be where it's at right now. I really don't feel like it would be.
And then would you say with the current private preschool, like, do you feel like I mean, obviously, because you mentioned the ABA therapists go to the school to support, do you think there's good collaboration there? Are there issues or?
I love how so when we first started with the collaboration with this preschool, we were all a little worried, including that preschool, of course. They were all worried because they don't really normally do this. They don't really have one-on-one come and support and whatnot. So they were all nervous. But this one-on-one, we had like our monthly one-on-one meetings with the director, with his head teacher at that private preschool, with the BCBA and the ABA, and me. We would have like a monthly meeting and we would set up his goals, talk about what's helped him. We talk about, what we can do to work, what we can do, if something happens, if he's having a tantrum, well, what are the ways we can fix this? So we all work together as a team. So I do feel like this school is perfect, and I do feel like he feels so loved in the school with not only with the ABA but also with the teachers there. And I do feel like that's also another thing. I do appreciate the ABA helping because whenever like Aiden in the beginning, Aiden would only just go to his ABA teachers, but then his ABA teachers would actually tell him, oh, why don't you go ask, your main teacher, why don't you go ask this other teacher? And they helped Aiden build that close relationship with all the teachers there. So all the teachers there, they absolutely love Aiden. And he's going to kinder, and I just explained, he's gonna go to kinder and whatnot. And this teacher is like, oh, how am I gonna say bye to him? So I can tell like he has so much love in that school.
Awesome. So, I mean, again, it sounds like a dream situation because I mean, in terms of us being in this field, one of the things that, we are trained on is being compassionate, communication, building good rapport, that's what we're supposed to be trained on, but the implementation piece I feel like isn't always there. So it sounds like you have a very strong team, both at school and at home. That's amazing. Um, and then I guess like what are you most proud of regarding Aiden? Like what are you so excited about that Aiden's doing recently that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy.
That he's actually able to talk to me now. You know, as I've told you, until 3, even close to 4, he was actually till 4, I would say, he was nonverbal. His words, you know, like cow, he would say ow, horse, he would say "S." He still was not verbal. He was still nonverbal, but recently, like, he's become so verbal. Like when I pick him up at school, he's like, "Mom, I'm so sad at school. I was happy at school. Jacob tickle, you know, oh, my friend tickle with me. I'm so happy." You know, like he's able to explain what happened at school. He's able to tell me. Um, he wants my attention. So he's like, "Mom, look at me, look at me." And he's been just like having such a blast. I feel like, and I think like he held it in for so long. And now that he's able to talk, he just won't stop. And I love that. I'm so proud that he's able to do that. I'm also proud that, you know, because we have new goals for him consistently. We're always making these new goals. And just the fact that he's able to achieve it, I think not only me, but our ABA team, our team, we're all just so proud of him. We're like, okay, we're gonna work on this goal. In a week or two, he's already achieved it. Okay, what are we gonna do next? So I feel at this time we're all proud of him. His social skills, oh my gosh, like he's making such great friends at school. He's interacting with them. He's asking them to play with him. He um he wants to like play, I don't know, just anything, like wants to play with dolls with them, like role play. You want to sit with me? You know, he's asking them, or can we play together? Even with his sister, can we play together? Can we do this? Um, Nuna, come follow me. You know, come follow me. Let's do this together. Just the fact that he's able to say all this, you know, I think even his sister is just so happy. The fact that he's showing her that attention because he hasn't been able to do that. But just the fact that he's able to like show her, oh, I need a hug, and he's able to like show that he loves his sister also, I think it makes her so happy as well. So
Amazing.
I mean, yeah, I have so much things I'm proud of him. Like he's just, yeah, he's such a joy.
What's something that Aiden likes to do for fun? What do you guys like to do as a family for fun?
He loves so we recently got our Disneyland passes, and he loves Disneyland. He loves amusement parks. He loves water. So every summer vacation we go to like Palm Springs, we go San Diego, we do a lot of water play, get like raging water passes or Knott's City, Legoland water park. He just absolutely loves water. I feel like you know, we've been doing swimming classes with him, trying to teach him, you know, just having him learn how to swim. But yeah, just that he has no fear for water. He just absolutely loves playing with water, which is something that he didn't when he was like 2. Like he just hated anything wet. But then yeah,
Awesome.
he started loving it.
He said he likes amusement parks, so that's amazing. How is he in terms of like adapting to like the large crowds, busy, lots of noise? Does he have any like sensory sensitivities?
To be honest, I feel like because we take him out like almost every weekend, you know, you know, I don't like to stay home. So I'm always out like every weekend with the kids. We go anywhere. We go to like malls, we go to like those indoor jumping houses, this and that. And we've always like went to like many places ever since he was a kid. And maybe that's what it is that's helped him. And on plenty of vacations, we've been to Vegas, where it's super crowded, of course. um, but I don't know if it's because of all that, but he's okay with all the, you know, with the larger crowds. I feel it doesn't really burden him as much.
Awesome. And he does okay when you take him to like amusement parks. He's able to like follow directions and wait.
He is now he's getting so much better. In the beginning, we had an issue with him eloping, not even looking back to see if we're following, just run up on his own, had a hard time waiting in line. But recently I was really surprised to see him waiting for like a good 40 minutes on a ride, which was super surprising. Did really well.
How did you guys achieve that?
I was there with I was there with my I don't know. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna be able to achieve it, but we were there and yeah, and we it just took longer than expected, but surprisingly you did okay. I guess you could say. Yeah, that was just surprising.
Awesome. And we have a question. Someone said, being an ABA mom, how do you handle it when there might be something in his assessment or program that you don't feel like it would be accurate with his behavior or skills? So if you don't agree, like how do you address that?
Oh, you should definitely talk to them about that and let them know that you should definitely talk to your team about that
Mhm. Well,
and let them know.
but if the team, I think you have a dream team because your team is very collaborative and open. But if that's not the case, I guess is probably my guess for why this question was asked. Have
I
you?
don't know. Do you talk to like a super? I mean, I've never had this kind of issue, but I would say talk to like somebody on the higher up if you have to.
So, well, that's
But
that you haven't had that issue.
um, even if I do, and I'm able, and I talk to the BCBA about it, we always come up with a solution. So if there's something that you don't feel like it would be accurate, then I would feel maybe you should mention that to them and see like maybe see what other approach you guys can take. And if that doesn't work, I mean, can you talk to like a higher up?
Yeah, and I think I would have to agree with mom in a sense that, I think sometimes when, the ABA team recommends one method or one goal of addressing something and you don't necessarily agree, I think that's not the only way for resolving that concern. I think there's lots of different paths for lots of different strategies that we can implement to achieve the same goal or achieve the same concern. So absolutely, I would say, like talking and communicating and letting them know because if as a mom you don't agree with a certain strategy, then like as a therapist, I'm not going to know that unless like that is being shared. But
Mm-hmm.
as if you guys are BCBAs where you guys are therapists, I think it's also equally important for us to then also ask parents, like, is this something that you guys can do? Is this something that you guys feel comfortable implementing? And just having that honest relationship, honest communication, I think it's important. I think it goes both ways, right? For the therapist to ask parents or guardians if this is something that they feel comfortable implementing. And then also from the parent or guardian standpoint, sharing with us things that they're not comfortable with. So that way we can work on that together.
That's a good thing you mentioned that because when we set these goals, we work as a team, and my BCBA and our team always asks, "What do you think of this goal? What do you think of this?" And they always want to get my opinion on it, right? And they want to know if I feel this is going to work out because they do know that I probably know him the best because I'm his mom, right? So I mean, I would think that, I don't know. I would think that, they would ask you like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Do you agree with me or do you not? And I would think that they would get your intake on it.
Awesome. Right now, Aiden is 5. He's sounds like he's done really well. He's communicating. What are you most worried about right now about Aiden?
Nervous about his kinder. Now that he's going up in kinder. I mean, as of right now, that's what I'm mostly worried about, I guess you can say, because he's well adapted to this private preschool. He's been here for about a good 2 years now, I would say. So, he knows the whole routine. He knows, what comes after like lunchtime, what comes after carpet time. But now just having to start in a new place and having to teach him to adapt in a new place is very nervous, but he's becoming a big boy, so excited, I guess. um that's I think right now at this moment that's what I'm mostly worried about.
Yeah, that's a big transition. Someone said, do you plan on putting your son in a public school, or are you planning to keep him in private school?
I'm not gonna do LAUSD because I honestly am me like personally I'm just so against autism classes. And with LAUSD they really push that autism class because they don't want to really even put that one-on-one. um they don't want to really give your child that one-on-one, I feel like. And we have to fight for it, we have to get lawyers to fight for it. I just don't want to do that. So, I'm not gonna put him in a LAUSD school. And there's a charter school I'm looking at. I'm looking to put him in that charter school where, I do feel it's a little easier to work with them, having that one-on-one aid in a general setting classroom without an autism, instead of an autism classroom. So I think that's the route I'm gonna take.
And just for charter schools, at least in LA, they're public, they're considered public education. So he would be transitioning to a public school system. Um,
Okay, but not like a LAUSD, like not like a school district.
it would be a charter school, which is again public school. So
Okay.
great. So, well, I'm sure your ABA team will definitely help with the transition. Are there other goals or areas of concerns you have about Aiden at this point?
Yeah, of course. Just now I do still, just academically, him still, we always find new behaviors and new things that we need to work on. Now he's being a little more independent, so now, I see a little concerning things because he's trying to show his independence, such as like him going through medicine cabinets or, like scissors, whatnot. So now, we're collaborating and we're talking about what we can do to work on these kind of behaviors. I would say it's just with Aiden, I feel it's always a surprise. This got better, but now, there's new behaviors that's happening that I feel like we should work on. So I think, yeah.
Awesome. And then we have a question. Thank you for sharing with us. If there was one thing you would share with practitioners for how they can better serve families, what would you say?
Practitioners like pediatricians.
Like therapists and things like that.
I I think the best I think the only way this okay, so I think the best way for an ABA or these therapy to work is honestly if parents or if you guys involve parents. And if I I know so I know of a mom who also has an autistic child. He's on the severe. He's a little older, but when I see the ABA therapist there, they're just in the room with him. The parents don't even know what they're doing. I saw once, they're doing the flashcard methods. It's really boring play, and that's something I don't think kids would enjoy doing, especially the flashcards. I know Aiden would have hated that if the therapist would have done like the flashcards, showing him flashcards, teaching him how to read using that, teaching him words using that. I know for sure he would have hated that. So definitely the play-based strategy worked for Aiden, and I do think it's really important for parents to be involved and know what they're doing so you can learn. You as a parent can also learn as well and really collaborate.
And if the parents aren't like, do you have suggestions for how the therapist can help the parents be part of this therapy session?
I do feel like they should communicate. They should definitely communicate more, let them know what goals they've worked on, what they can do when this happens, what kind of behavior they're seeing. I honestly feel like parents need to be on top of, all therapy sessions. And I think that's very important. And I really feel even if, because I know a lot of parents cannot be that involved because they don't have, they might not have that time. But I do feel like, they really should take that time to at least, listen to what the therapists are saying, what kind of goals, and just, at least communicate with them.
Yes, agree. And then someone asked if you could share um something about, oh, can you give an example of a PRT intervention that has been really helpful for Aiden? Like a PRT, like what's a PRT thing that you guys have done that's been really helpful for Aiden?
Wait, what was a PRT?
The ABA method that he's been using, like the
Oh, that's been helping with Aiden. So the therapy that we've been doing that's helping Aiden.
I guess like I know you had mentioned like he's really into like animals, so like with cows, they would follow him and make sure he's like, talking about cows or something like that.
Yeah, so for example, like if he's actually playing with well, I guess if he's playing right now, like if he's playing with Baby Shark, they would actually include something else. So at in the beginning, they would like he would line up the toys, he would want them in the specific orders, but eventually they would add another toy to it that he likes and try to break that cycle, I guess, of that, the straight line routine, having it in that specific order. So they use what he likes. They definitely use everything that he likes and adds on to it. I think honestly, like I said, the most important thing was they were going at his own pace and they were using the things that he liked to actually push him to be more verbal and push him to actually play with others using that. Right now he's taking one of his favorite dolls at school, and that's helping him make friends because other people want to play with it. And he brings like if he were to bring another doll, he'll share with another friend that he likes, and they're playing together. So whatever he likes, they definitely like to use that to to encourage him to whether socially, whether getting him to talk, and I feel that's helped him a lot.
And I know Heejung, you had shared with me earlier that Aiden is really good at drawing now. So,
Yes, even I was shocked. In the beginning, he's a lefty, by the way. So I had no idea how to even teach a lefty because I'm a righty. But his pencil grab was the first thing. He he really did not know how to write, draw, but all of a sudden our teams worked together, having him use gentle hands with the pencil. Now he's like drawing all these different shapes. He's drawing like his favorite character, Peppa Pig. He drew a cow, which is like I was so amazed by. I'm putting him in art class now, by the way. But he's done so much better with the drawing. He's watching tutorials, learning how to draw also, which is amazing. I feel he's drawing better than I do now. And I also want to mention scissors. He hated using the scissors. He did not know how to use scissors, but when he would cut, he would like, I guess, cut like a part where he didn't want to cut and have a tantrum. So he would ask the therapist to cut. They worked that out and he's like, okay, Aiden, you try cutting once, I'll cut. You try cutting once, and eventually now he's just cutting on his own. He's learned how to use scissors as well. So,
and just looking at the time, Heejung was so generous in sharing some videos, so I'm gonna share my screen and uh, so you guys can see who Aiden Park is. So let's go back. So this is Aiden Park. He seems like an amazing little boy.
hi,
Hopefully
baby.
we'll get to meet him one day. Um, and mom, so she shared a video of this was Aiden. How old was he in this video, Heejung?
So this was when he was 2 years and about, I would say 6 months, 5 months.
Right around the time he got diagnosed, or right prior.
This was right when he started receiving speech therapy and he was on his way to get his psychological assessment. So even at this time, I had no idea he was even autistic.
Okay, so let's take a look.
Yes, yes, yes.
It seems like he's doing a little bit of the sign language.
He is. So this is what he learned when he was getting speech therapy through the regional center.
And is he still getting any speech therapy or OT or any other services outside of ABA?
He's not. He's only getting ABA services right now.
Would you consider other services for him?
I would love to get speech or occupational, but then they're not willing to come to his private school. So I don't really feel the need to anymore because I feel like the ABA team is helping him with his speech, with his with his motor skills. I don't feel like, he needs that anymore.
Yeah, with him cutting and stuff. That sounds great. Uh, and then this is about maybe a year into therapy, would you say? How?
Hmm. That was about a year.
He seems very smart. He knows all of his letters.
He
That's
does. He does. He's definitely got that letters down pretty early.
and here in this, is he like 3.5, 4
I would say he's about three and a half, close up 3.5 to 4, I would say.
video?
More swimming? No? Yes. Swimming. Go, go, go. Yes. More swim. Swim 어떻게 해? No? Swim. Yes. Aiden, more swim. Oh. No. Swimming bye bye.
So he's saying some words. And
Hmm.
this is him now.
What?
We can't hear that, Sunny. Is it volume? Am I the only one that can't hear that?
You couldn't hear that one?
I couldn't.
Let me try one more time.
What?
Can you hear that one?
I can't try it again.
Can you,
I couldn't, but pretty much he's saying, "It's okay, mommy. Aiden loves you," and he's giving me a kiss. I'm like, "Can I get a kiss?" And he's giving me a kiss.
it's such a cute video. So,
What?
were you guys able to hear that?
Yeah, I couldn't. I don't know if other people could. That's so weird. That's so cute. I wanted to show that.
Um, let's see. Yeah, it is. I mean, I can hear it and I will definitely, oh, someone says they can't hear it either. I will definitely say, as a therapist, just hearing him say, it's okay, like, I love you, Aiden loves you. Like, I'm like, wow, he's using a lot of words. Let me play the other video and let me see if I can find the other audio that will play it. Hear this one? Can you hear this one?
A little bit. Yeah, we can't hear that one either. Oh,
You can't hear that one either? Good.
yeah.
Let me try to find the original file. But let's see, we have some questions. Person asked, I love hearing how your son is thriving as you and your son have been navigating this journey together. What has been a great source of support for you outside of his therapist and other service providers?
I've been actually, honestly, I don't know what to say to that. Outside of his therapist, I really don't know what to say to that. I feel like, it's just his family, my mom, our family. Uh, I really I feel like my life has been just around his therapist and other service providers. Like I don't, yeah,
So it's really
just
that's been supporting you.
and just going out, showing him like different things here and there. It's just been our family, and going to our friend's house, having him have play dates, with other peers, kids around his age, him, just teaching him how to play with other peers. I feel like those were like the greatest support, honestly.
And then let me see. I think we found the original file you sent. So let me see if this will work.
Let's see.
The Aiden, the kissing one is just so cute. Um, so give
I know,
me,
I really wanted to brag about that. It's like the cutest. Oh, it's still not, huh?
can't hear that one either.
Yeah.
But again, in this video, he is playing with his dad, and he is
Saying that he got the marble and stuff, right? I got it, right?
So let me try once more, and if it doesn't work, I'm sorry, you guys. You guys are missing out on this cute little. Um,
Oh, we still can't.
Still can't hear it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, as you can see here, it seems like he's playing with his dad, back and forth. So it's a very, very cute video that I don't know why it's not working. See if there is audio. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Let's see. Um,
What?
that
Can I see you? Can I get a kiss? Can I get a kiss?
Oh, you can actually hear that much better, son. Can you try it again from the beginning? Oh, oh, no, it's not. Oh, yeah, it didn't work.
It's so cute because it's okay, mommy. Aiden loves you. And then he gives her a kiss. And then this other one, he's playing with his dad. So it's very
Mhm.
sorry, guys. But you guys get the point. I think it seems like Aiden has come a long way from where he is. I did find a picture that let me see if I can pull it up. Because I know you shared some pictures of what he likes to draw recently. And so
Oh,
like
yes,
Peppa Pig drawing. This is
that's Peppa Pig.
very, very impressive. So that's amazing. And you were sharing how he can cut these characters out?
Yes, and again, coming from just like couple months ago, I would say even like 3, 4 months ago, this guy would not even know how to hold up a pencil, right? So just the fact that he's able to do this now, is very quite skillful.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Um, All right, so I think we have a few more questions. Um, how do you make sure all of the extra time you put into Aiden doesn't take away from the time you spend with your daughter? How do you make sure your daughter doesn't feel left out?
That's a great question. So, because Aiden currently is in that private preschool and that preschool ends at 5, during the after I pick up my daughter, I do, spend that extra couple hours with her, giving, going to like Yogurtland, whatever, spoiling her a little bit. And I feel like my our ABA team does like an amazing job helping my daughter also not feel left out. Like when we have community sessions, they also make sure to involve my daughter, and they make my daughter also feel she's so loved by them also. So even though we have these home sessions with Aiden at times, like my daughter still enjoys the fact that they're there, and she's able to actually hang out. Again, like we're not putting Aiden in a room with just him and the therapist, right? We're just he's pretty much, we're in the living room with the therapist. My daughter's always joining, I'm always joining. So my I feel like she loves it. She absolutely loves having the therapist around. And I do spoil her that way a little bit. I do spend that extra time um during the weekends. Sometimes I'll just whenever we go out, my husband's always with me, so we rotate with the kids. So I don't feel she feels left out at all. I do know she feels super loved.
That's awesome. Someone said he is amazing. His mom is too.
Yay, thank you.
Someone said, I know you had mentioned this, but I think someone joined a little bit late. Just what motivated you to get him initially evaluated?
So in the beginning, he had major speech delay. The only thing he can probably say was mom in Korean, and that wasn't even clear as well. He did a lot of dangerous, like climbing, jumping onto things, climbing onto things, constantly getting hurt. Um, and on top of that, like he had a lot of sensory issues. He hated like wet textures on his hand, hated bubble bath. So all these things just made me kind of get assessed. I thought, I thought that felt a little odd to me because my daughter, who's older, I never had to deal with that with her. So
Do you think it helped that you had your daughter first so that you kind of knew what to look out for?
I definitely did. I think that helped a lot. In the beginning, of course, like all parents think, oh, he's just a late bloomer. He'll eventually talk. In the beginning, I thought that too, especially when you have the speech delay. But when I started seeing a little more, like a little more dangerous, I guess, behaviors, him jumping, climbing, him not getting used to the textures, that was so odd. Like the bubble bath, I thought, what kid doesn't like bubble bath? So those kind of things were just like, okay, that's definitely different from my daughter.
Does he like bubble baths now?
Oh yeah, he loves bubble baths now. He loves slime. He loves all the wet texture. He'll put paint on his hand and just he loves finger painting. So different.
That's awesome. Someone said, and I know you had mentioned, but he doesn't receive any other therapy other than ABA at this
No,
time.
he doesn't. The only thing he's getting is ABA, and I'm not really pressured into getting other therapy because like I said, I feel like with this ABA he's learned like the pencil like grasping skills. He's learning how to write, learning how to read, by the way. They're working on sight words with him already. His behavior, I don't feel scissors, like I feel he's already getting everything just with that ABA therapist. So I don't feel like I need to.
That's amazing. And then do you notice, and another question, do you notice any difference in his behavior when he's working with male or female therapists?
I never worked with male therapists, so I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I mean, I don't know. Again, yeah, all the therapists that he's been working with was all, female. So yeah, I wouldn't know. Never tried it.
What about because I think you said he like any like he does swim and you said he's doing art class. Are
That's
those
right. Oh, okay. So he is. Oh, that's right. So his swim instructor, he has a one-on-one swimming class. He does one-on-one,
Okay.
and his swim instructor is a male. He's a male, and he's actually he listens to him really well, actually. The back the what is it? The kicks, all that. I feel like he listens really well. So I don't really think there's a difference in his behavior. I think it's just a matter of him getting used to the therapist. So whether the therapist is a male or a female, I don't think that's really important. I
Mhm.
think it's just a matter of him getting used to whoever his teachers are. I think that's what's more important.
Got it. Well, that's great. He doesn't mind which gender it is. I
Yeah.
find two other videos you had shared. Let me see if these work. Because I think for everyone to see his progress, for me to not show it, I think that would do a disservice because wow, it's just like even me watching the videos, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Were you surprised?
Um, this one is a little sideways. So let me see. I don't know if
Yeah, it's in and out, I feel like, Sunny. It's
in it, so you could hear some of it.
a little bit like in the beginning, there are nine in the bed, roll over, but you can't like it's just like going in and out, I feel like. The sound.
Let me see if I can do the other one then. Because in this other video you shared, he's doing math here. I'm like, oh my goodness.
What's 2 plus 2? 8. 2 plus 2. What's 2 plus 1? 5 plus 5. 3 plus 3. 3 plus 3. 5 plus 3. What's the answer? 5 plus 2. Yeah, we did it. We did it. All done or more? These are all done? Wait, are we going to do more or all done? More.
I like how he was very sure he was
Yeah.
done.
We can hear a little bit, but we can't really hear the full video. But yeah, he is adding, and then he has been actually, yeah, doing a little bit of addition nowadays and using his fingers. So it's like the cutest thing. This is like a recent thing too, so I'm like loving it.
Awesome. We have a few more questions and then we'll wrap it up. I have two boys that are 10 and 8 that are both on the spectrum. My youngest just started saying words at the age of 8, and I've been having problems finding help for him. My 10-year-old has grown so much since he first started school. My youngest is a handful because he climbs and puts non-edible objects in his mouth. Is there any like words of support you might want to give to this parent?
I actually, Aiden had this issue where he was putting non-edible objects in his mouth, and what scared me the most is the chargers. He would put chargers in his mouth. On top of that, he would bite his nails, and we're still working on that. But I know my therapist actually recommended like a what is it, a candy, like a popsicle, like a small little, those small, very small popsicles, or even maybe like chewing gum for a little bit. So they did, they did mention that maybe we can try that if, it continues on. But I think just being on top of it, and just whenever he does that, I think our my therapists were pretty much on top of it, letting them know, okay, we don't want to do that. And what I've noticed with my son is whenever he's bored, I feel he does that more. So, instead of yeah, whenever he's bored or he's just like, let's say watching iPad, I've noticed he's doing that more. So I I pretty much start talking to him. I start thinking of I do other activities with him, and I feel like that's helped him. But I
That's
think you just have to constantly be on that and just let him know that's not for eating. That's, that can get hurt. And I've been telling Aiden, what happens if this happens? And he said, what happens if you eat this? And he says, I go to hospital. So now he's aware that if he continues doing that, and that's very dangerous, he can go to the hospital. So I think that's helped him.
And I mean, I know that we were having issues with the audio, but in just watching those videos, I could tell Heejung is, she's a mom, but I could tell she's also picked up a few things from the ABA therapy because she's following through. I think in the one she asked Aiden, "Are you all done?" and he didn't answer. She made sure he responded. So, I think kudos to Heejung for, definitely continuing the ABA outside of the therapy sessions.
Again, that's very important, honestly. You just have to continue with that. That consistency is what helps. So I love that.
And Adam, I mean, I think, again, maybe I think Heejun got very lucky in finding a very great ABA team. But I always tell my students, right, if you, and I think this applies to parents too, if there's an ABA company or a therapist that you're just not vibing with, I think as a parent, you have to kind of speak up and ask for a different provider or a different specialist. I know when my daughter was having her medical issues and we were working with a neurologist, I did not like our first neurologist. I was just not vibing with her. So I asked, I'm like, I want a different neurologist. And so I think absolutely if, you as a parent, if you're not feeling a therapist or a specialist, I think, you have a right to ask for someone else where you can trust, because at the end of the day, you are trusting this person to have the best interest for your child.
And again, you are their parents. You know the best about your child. So, don't if you feel that it's not working, then you just have to trust that instinct because you know your child the most. And I really feel like that's important. If
Uh,
if you feel like it's not working, then it's probably not working. So you need to trust that.
we have a question. Do you think ABA helped Aiden the most throughout the whole journey?
What do you think helped?
Yeah.
Or
Do you think ABA is what helped Aiden the most throughout the whole journey?
oh, definitely. With the regional center services, with the OT and speech, the only thing he's gained out of the speech therapy through the regional center was nothing but sign languages. He was still nonverbal. Occupational therapy, even when we started the ABA therapy, he still had like issues with textures, things on his hand. They tried the weighted vest. He just hated the weighted vest. I honestly don't feel like that regional center speech therapy was actually beneficial, to be honest. But once we started with the ABA therapy, it's definitely, he's become like a brand new little boy. Like, like I couldn't picture Aiden being like the way he is right now. I honestly feel like if it wasn't for the ABA therapy and finding the right team, I don't feel it was capable for Aiden to change like this.
And so I know you said that he was diagnosed, and then he also had global developmental delays, as well as he was like diagnosed with being very severe on the spectrum. Would you say that's who Aiden is today?
No, I don't think he's anywhere close to level 3, to be honest. Um, his cognitive skills, he understands literally like everything at school, everything. I don't think he's even close to that level 3 diagnosis and the global developmental disability that he got diagnosed with. In my opinion, I'm not sure. That means like he's not able to do understand anything, right? Like
He's right.
that's
He's developmentally, he's delayed.
he's right, but I don't feel that at all at this point. So I feel like he's a total change new boy from then to now. And again, within like 2 years, right? Within 2 years, this happened. So I feel this is huge.
That's awesome. Well, we're almost out of time, so I want to, and Adam, I hear you. I, so many of my students, I've worked with so many parents, and they also have the same, I think they also struggle with finding reliable ABA help. I think he alluded to this earlier where she didn't want the flashcard method. I think probably more like the traditional DTT model. She didn't want that for her son. So I think, and if you want to message me, I'm happy to, chat with you offline, schedule a call with you to just kind of see what resources or connections I can get you to. But, I think finding a good team that really cares for your child is, I mean, in Aiden's case, it seems like he's a transformed kid, even for me. I mean, I know again, the audio, we were having audio issues, but just to see him from him being very limited with verbal skills to now like, wow, he's like singing songs and he's saying he loves you and just having all these, interactions with his dad. That seems so amazing. So I think you guys are doing a great job for
And
eight.
I actually wanted to mention one more thing. I feel what's very important is positive reinforcement. So I think that played a very important part in Aiden's, development. This positive reinforcement, even me, like when I tell him, no, Aiden, you can't do that, it doesn't work. When I'm being very firm about something, I feel like this positive reinforcement where we're being very we're pretty much giving him different choices. We're being very positive to him and we're telling him like different things in a positive way. I feel that's helped him. And he as a human being, right? I mean, what human being doesn't wants to be like, always get scolded at or always get in trouble, right? But then having this positive reinforcement and saying a lot of positive things about Aiden, which this is like one of the biggest thing that I feel my ABA team does. And I think that's helped him a lot. And that's helped him feel so loved. It's like in a way I feel like he's listening to them to try to like be on their good side or try to like because he knows that he like they love him. I feel like that's why he's trying to like kiss their butt, I guess you can say, right? Because like he loves them so much, right? So I think that's why this positive reinforcement thing that they always do, I think that's helped him a lot.
That's
And I
awesome.
think that's very important.
Well, please keep us posted about Aiden's progress. Seems like you guys are in a great spot, and I wish him the best of luck for starting kindergarten.
Yay. Thank you.
You guys, bye.